maybe even a Indian chief at the car wash. Working at the car wash, yeah. Come on and sing it with me, car wash. Sing it with the feeling now, car wash, yeah. Woo! Come some of the work gets kinda hard, and this ain't no place to be if you plan on being a star. Let me tell you, it's always cool, and the boss don't mind sometimes if you act the fool at the car wash. Whoa, 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 talking about the car wash, yeah. Come on, y'all, and sing it for me, car wash. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Car wash, yeah. Work and work. Well, those cars never seem to stop coming. Work and work. Keep those bags and machines humming. Work and work. My fingers to the bone. Work. If I can't wait till it's time to go home. Hey, get your car washed today. Fill up and you don't have to pay. Come on and give us a play. Get washed right away at the car wash. Talking about the car wash. Car wash, yeah. Come on, y'all, and sing it with me, car wash. Sing it with feeling, y'all. Car wash, yeah. Ooh, oh, 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 car wash.
Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 459th Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I put onto YouTube. As I've got this week off from work, I thought I would put a Wednesday bonus battle on, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, our first teammate is Brotherhood member Steve Longshanks. Now, Steve Longshanks have got 14 Spartans and 5 of the cheap range archers there. Okay, and Greek cities is Steve's faction of choice, as a lot of you will know that play against him and with him. Okay, our next teammate is Brotherhood member Bubo. Now, Bubo has got 13 pikes, 5 cavalry, and 2 archers. Okay, a quick look at the upgrades on his pikes there. You can see he's just got, on a lot of them, just gold shield, gold attack there. Just like to draw your attention to the length of those pikes. Remember, the enemy troops have got to fight all their way down those long enemy pikes to kill the man on the other end there. So that's it was a very tall order, especially for Roman troops. Okay, our next teammate is Brotherhood member Trajan. Now, Trajan's got 13 pikes, 2 archers, 3 heavy chariots, and 2 chariot archers. Okay, so let's have a look at one of his heavy chariots there. Okay, now these guys have got big attacking specifications. They bring a big fear factor too, but they've also can run amok. And if they run amok, they kill both friend and foe alike and become a menace to both friend and foe alike. So it's kind of a double-edged sword when you bring these type of chariots, because they can be battle-winning troops if used correctly, but if they run amok, they seem to become more powerful when they run amok than in normal mode. And of course, as I say, they kill both friend and foe alike then. So they are like a double-edged sword. And then he's got 2 chariot archers there. If you can see, they've got 2 archers and the driver on the chariots there. So, as I say, they can form a Canterbury circle as well, where they go around in circles, shooting kind of like a machine gun, if you like, as they go around in the circle. And it's very effective. So that's that Pontus army there. It'd be interesting to see how well it does. Some people say Pontus is a lesser 31k faction, but we just have to see. Okay, and our 4th teammate and myself, Spartan Commander, has got his very old 14 Spartans and 5 of the cheap range archers. So there's our team there, all pikes and spears. And here is the other team. We have Brotherhood member Point. Now, Point has got 10 infantry, 4 archers, and 6 cavalry. Okay, 10 infantry, 4 archers, and 6 cavalry. If you look at the upgrades on his infantry, can you see he's only got gold shield, gold attack on his infantry? So I'm thinking his cavalry are probably going to be quite well. Yep, there you go, quite well upgraded. 2, 3, 4, 5. Right, he's got 8 upgrades, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack on that Praetorian cavalry, which makes them extremely, should we say, important troops for his army there. That should be interesting to see how well that cavalry does during the course of the battle. Okay, their next teammate is Brotherhood member Barclayman. Now, Bark has got 16 spears and 4 round shield cavalry. Okay, now round shield cavalry or light cavalry, he's only got 4 of those, but let's have a look at the upgrades on his formation troops here. Okay, can you see his forward units are fully upgraded? 9 upgrades, that's 3 experience stripes, 3 veteran stripes, gold shield, gold attack, on the first 2 lines of his battle formation. Okay, fully upgraded Sacred Band Spearmen there, but if you look at the rear units of his battle formation, can you see he's only got gold shield, gold attack on those rear units? Okay, now this is unusual because usually you've got your lesser upgraded troops at the front, but I think what he's thinking here is well upgraded troops would tire out any attacking troops there, and then those tired troops will then be able to be taken out by his lesser upgraded troops at the rear of his battle formation. So as I say, usually people put lesser upgraded units on the front of their battle formation, but here he's turned things around and put his maximum upgraded units on the front of his battle formation. So it'll be interesting to see how well that works during the course of the battle. As I say, he's got 4 round shield cavalry there, and these are light cavalry. My guess is he'll move them around the battlefield very quickly to attack soft targets like our archers are going into the rear of our engaged troops. Our next teammate is Brotherhood member Lando. Now Lando's got 11 infantry, 4 archers and 4 cavalry. Okay, 11 infantry, 4 archers and 4 cavalry. Just like to draw your attention to the upgrades of his archers. Can you see he's got 7 upgrades? He's got an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack on his archers. Now those archers are good anyway, but you put an experience stripe on them and that makes them super good. And the reason he's bought them is because our team has got Macedon and Pontus in. He knows those 120 man units are extremely susceptible to missile damage, so that's why he's bought those archers to cause as much damage as he can. Have a quick look at the upgrades on his cavalry. So he's got 7 upgrades on his cavalry, an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack. So that's a pretty good balanced army there. My guess is custom built for this battle because he knows he's going up against pikes and spears. Their 4th teammate is Brotherhood member Sandy Star. Now Sandy Star has got 4 cavalry, 12 pikes and 4 slingers. Okay, 4 cavalry, 12 pikes, 4 slingers. And of course you can't see his army because they're hiding in the woods. Okay, so that's the other team there. A nice combination of Rome and Carthage there against our pike and spear team. I say it's got the potential to be a great battle, and I hope you enjoy it. Okay, at this stage of the battle, you can see Lando's armoured cavalry general moving around there. Let's just pause the game for a second. As we know, Lando uses old school tactics a lot here, and bringing the Roman armoured cavalry general is very old school. As I said before in other battle videos, maybe 9, 10, 11 years ago, we all used to bring these until most of us switched to a infantry general. But Lando uses it extremely well. I see he's got 8 upgrades, 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. Now, make no mistake, he will harass and harangue our team here with that unit. Probably attacking archers. He may even attack spear units if he can get in behind them. See that cavalry unit going straight for that archer unit. Now, is he going to pull back before he hits those enemy pikemen, or is he just going to carry on with the attack? Bang! As he charges in with that cavalry general, harassing and haranguing, trying to take out our archers. Look, this is how you used to see, up to maybe say 10 or 11 years ago, you would see people using these armoured cavalry generals really well like this. Make no mistake, this is old school. Okay, he saw those chariots there and decided to pull his general back. But it wouldn't surprise me if he charged in again. He's not one for pulling that general back. Once he starts attacking, he wants to carry on. He's going to go for that other archer unit. Can you see there? He was thinking about going for that other archer unit, and now he's going to charge in. Sometimes he tries to pull away to make you think he's not going to go for a target, and then he comes back and bang, straight into that archer unit there. Look. Nice hit there as well. As I say, make no mistake, this is old school cavalry armoured general tactics here. Harassing and haranguing, trying to disrupt our battle lines and formations here. Okay, meanwhile over on our left flank here, you can see our Pontus ally there has got his chariots, using his archer chariots there to shoot at those enemy Carthage Sacred Band units. But if you notice, Sandy Star's brought his slingers forward. Slingers can do a lot of damage to chariot archers that ordinary foot archers can't do. The slingers seem to do a lot more damage to these units. Foot archers don't seem to do a lot of damage to these guys. As you can see, they're going around in a Canterbury circle. And as they come round, they shoot arrows off almost like a machine gun into enemy troops there. But as I say, Sandy Star's moving his Balearic slingers forward, and they are a good counter to chariot archers there. So as I say, that's a nice counter there with those Balearic slingers. Plus he moved his cavalry forward, look, so our Pontus ally decided to pull those chariot archers back there. Okay, just like to draw your attention here. Can you see that Sandy Star here is a long way away from his allies? Now make no mistake, we've noticed this, and what we were thinking of was maybe if we can get a bit closer to him, we may well do a lightning attack onto Sandy Star before his allies can get over to him. But we just need to get a bit closer to him so it doesn't give him a chance to run back to his allies. But make no mistake, we have spotted that. Meanwhile, as you can see, Lando's cavalry armoured general here still moving around, still harassing and haranguing, still trying to disrupt our battle line there with his armoured cavalry general. He's trying to draw us arrows onto him now. Let's see. He's running around there hoping that we're going to shoot our arrows at him. There he's going to go for that archer unit again, and bang, as he charges into that Pontus archer unit, causing big casualties there, look, killing a lot of those archers. I say that archer unit is an 81 man unit, look, has been reduced to 42 now, and it hasn't been shot by enemy archers, just what that armoured cavalry general unit has done. Look, it's back in again, look, bang, straight in again. There, see, he's reduced that archer unit to 36 men, I think. Let's pause again for a second. They're down to 36 men from 81, okay, and they haven't even been shot by enemy archers. That's just what that armoured cavalry general has done to them. Okay, so that's how effective a fast-moving armoured cavalry general can be in the right hands. And as I say, this is really old-school tactics here. Also, if you notice here, that's our general disposition there of our troops at this stage of the battle. Okay, so you can see here, Steve's moved his Greek city units over towards my flank there, so we're fighting side by side over on that flank. So as I say, there's a general disposition of our team as it stands at the moment. Okay, so as you can see, this is our general disposition of our team at the moment, but I'd just like to draw your attention here to a little tactic that Barclayman uses a lot. Can you see he's moving his round shield-like cavalry slowly and steadily in behind us here? Okay, now of course he wants to move that cavalry hoping that we won't see him. Okay, now of course what he'd like to do is bring that fast-moving cavalry in and attack our archers there. Attack the soft targets there with that fast-moving cavalry. Okay, so make no mistake, that's what he would love to do there, is smash into our archers, take our archers out, and maybe even crash into the back of our engaged spear or pikeman there. So as I say, this is a very good tactic that Barclayman often does. See how slowly he's moving them there? Just walking them. Okay, because you know, like if something moves fast out the corner of your eye, you can notice it. But if something's moving slowly and steadily, you might not notice it. But as I say, this is a very good tactic that Barclayman uses a lot, of kind of creeping his chariots or cavalry in behind us here. Okay, you can see Lando's armoured cavalry general there, still doing the business with his cavalry unit there. As I say, harassing, haranguing, disruption there. That's all what that cavalry general's all about there. That's why he brings it. As I say, he's probably one of the best people in the game to use that. Look, he's going to smash into the back of that pike unit. Look, bang! Smash straight into the back of that pike unit. And that pike unit's a 120 man unit there, and I think it's down to 90. So that's the type of damage that these armoured cavalry general units can do in the right hands. Okay? Harassing, haranguing, and disruption is what they do. Okay, meanwhile over on our left flank here, let's say you can see Steve has moved his Greek cities army over to the left flank here, and you can see our Pontus ally moving his Pontus pikeman. Sorry, let's just pause again for a second. So you see here, Sandy Star here was the target, but he's moving back over towards his allies now. Remember we talked about he was a bit isolated, and we were going to try and hit him with a lightning hit. But I think he spotted what was coming, and he's now moving his Carthage army over towards his allies. Unfortunately for us, we couldn't kind of cut him off and attack him there, because he saw what was actually coming. So, as I say, he's moved over closer to his allies there. You can see Bubo moving his Macedonians forward. But you can see this armoured cavalry general here of Lando's here, attacking our archers all the time. He's not even giving that armoured cavalry general time to rest. He's just charging them into our archers, causing loads of casualties and disruption there. Okay, so he's doing a lot of damage with that. Okay, so our Pontus ally looks like he's moving towards Carthage. I've got my Greek city units there. You can see Steve and Bubo moving forward, but can you see that red Julio army there? I'm a bit worried they could come round our right flank as Steve has moved over to this left flank. So probably what I'm going to do is take my army over to that right flank to try and counter any attack from the enemy team there on our right flank. Okay. Just to mention here that the enemy have got a big cavalry advantage. I think they've got something like 18 cavalry against our, I think it's against maybe our, I don't know, maybe 10 chariots, heavy chariots and heavy cavalry. So they've got a big cavalry advantage on us here, okay? Now let's see if they're going to make the most of that. Okay, we've got anti-cavalry pike and spear armies here, but remember, veterans will know this. If cavalry is used correctly in overwhelming force, they can get in behind us, smash into the rear of our engaged pike and spear units, causing mass routs. Okay, so the enemy, as I say, have got massive cavalry advantage over us here, and if they use that cavalry correctly, that could be decisive in this battle. Okay, as I say, you can see me moving my Greek citizen army over to the right flank here to stop those two Julio armies trying to flank our team. Okay, so I'm going to act as a blocking force, but those of you that watch my battle videos know that I'm not a defensive player when I play with Greek cities, and I am going to attack those Julio units if I can. Can you see, right from the beginning of any contact with the enemy there, I'm going to be aggressive and go straight for those units. Let's say, with this old Greek city army in mind, I don't like to be defensive. I really like to be aggressive. Can you see Lando here moving his units around here now? I'm thinking he's going to look to do a right flanking action around here. And Points is there as well. Now, Points may hold and try and engage my Greek cities while Lando gets units around the flank. If you notice, Steve's moved back over from the left flank, back over to this right flank again here. Okay. So, as I say, it's a general disposition of both teams here. You can see our Pontus ally is facing Carthage there. Now, remember, Carthage can punch above its weight when it fights the big 120-man units, so we'll have to watch that left flank very closely, I think. So you can see here, I've got my archers at the rear of my Greek city units here. Now, what I try and do with my archers is to try and help with cavalry. Obviously, because Steve and me have chosen Greek cities here, we've put our team at a massive cavalry disadvantage. So we've got to try and make up for that. And what I try and do to make up for it is to be as aggressive as I can with my Greek cities army, charging into the enemy, trying to suck in as many units as I can to attack my Greek cities army. So I do try to make up for giving my team a massive cavalry disadvantage. Okay, I've got my archers there. As I say, I'm going to target the enemy cavalry with those archers if I can, just to help my team against the enemy cavalry. You can see Bubo's got his Macedonian companion cavalry out there, and Trajan's got some chariots out there as well, ready to try and counter any cavalry hit behind us. But Praetorian cavalry in general will take out companion cavalry, so we need to watch this very carefully. Right, can you see the enemy making the most of their cavalry advantage here? They're in behind us here, make no mistake. They're going to target our archers. They'll be looking to smash into the rear of any engaged troops that we've got. Let's just pause the game for a second here so you can see enemy infantry and enemy cavalry moving around our flank. Okay, now this is really bad news for us. I say, any enemy troops getting in behind you is bad, especially if you're pike and spear units here, because of course you get smashed in the rear and you're going to rout. Okay, so as I say, we've got companion cavalry and chariots around there to try and counter them, but as I say, they've got superior numbers and superior quality cavalry there as well. Okay, now Steve's here. He looks like he's going to try and counter half of Barclayman's Carthage army. You see Barclayman split his army into two. You've got one army there and one army facing our Macedonian ally. Meanwhile, over on our left flank here, you can see the Carthage Sacred Band units being used aggressively against our Pontus ally. Okay, so Sandy Star's being very aggressive with his troops there. Remember though, just look at the difference between the long pikes of Pontus, okay, and the short spears of Carthage. So remember, those Carthage Sacred Band troops have got to fight all the way down those long pikes to kill the man on the other end. But Carthage does punch above its weight when it comes to fighting these big 120-man units. So it'll be interesting to see what happens on our left flank there. Okay, but meanwhile here in the centre you can see Bubo holding quite well against Carthage, but this is the main problem for us here, is our right flank. Okay, our right flank is in danger of being engulfed here by enemy infantry and enemy cavalry coming in behind us to smash into the rear, as I say, of our archers and into the rear of any engaged units that we've got fighting the enemy troops. Okay, I can see that Bubo's charging his companion cavalry in. There was a chariot unit there, but that's been routed. One of our Pontus chariots has just been routed there by enemy troops. But as I say, in general here, companion cavalry will lose to Roman cavalry. Praetorian cavalry here are superior cavalry to the companion cavalry here. And as I say, in general, they will rout them, which they've done here. Okay, so you can see my Greek citizen army. As I say, I've moved forward here. Right, I'm just going to pause the game for a second here. Okay, so Steve left his position there to run back to neutralise the enemy cavalry and infantry that's got in behind us. Okay, so that's what he's done with his army there. But veterans watching this, can you see I'm attacking here flat out, but look what those Carthage Sacred Band units could do. What I'm worried here is these guys are going to run into the back of me, down spears, and attack the rear of my engaged Greek city units. My guess is that Steve will spot that and probably bring his army back to counter that. That's what I'm hoping anyway, because as I say, that is an open invitation there to charge into the rear of my Greek cities there for that Carthage general. Meanwhile here, Bubo's holding well against Barkyman's Carthage units. And over here on our left flank here, as I say, you can see Sandy Star being very aggressive with his Carthage Sacred Band units charging into those Pontus pikemen there. Okay, so there's a general disposition of the battle as it stands at the moment. Okay, all that enemy cavalry and infantry in behind us here, they may well be looking for targets to charge into the rear of our engaged troops. But meanwhile over here on the right flank, I think I'm facing a lot of Lando's infantry and Points infantry there. And you can see Steve spotted that Carthage Sacred Band units there and has now run his Greek citizen army back to cover the rear of my attacking troops. So nice move there by Steve, nice cover move there by Steve. And it wouldn't surprise me if he became aggressive and attacked those Carthage Sacred Band units. Let's say there's a lot of 120-man units in this game, and this will cause a bit of lag. You might notice there is a little bit of lag in this game at the moment. But as I say, with the big 120-man units that we've got, a couple of armies there, it will cause a little bit of lag with some players' computers. Okay, let's just pause the game for a second here. So say, you can see loads of enemy Julii infantry there attacking us. We are almost getting engulfed by Julii infantry there. Plus there's all that Julii cavalry and more Julii infantry in behind us. Okay, so as I say, things not looking very good for our team at the moment with all that cavalry and infantry, enemy cavalry infantry in behind us. They may look to smash into the rear of our Pontus ally, hoping to take the advantage of Pontus having low morale and routing, or they could charge into the rear of our engaged Greek city units here. Okay, the options are open for them because they're in behind us. Alright, as I say, there is a little bit of lag in this game, but that is due to having so many 120-man units here. It does make some players' computers lag a little bit, but the game will speed up as more units are taken out. Okay, meanwhile over here on our left flank, you can see some of the Pontus units are starting to rout here with the pressure from those Carthage Sacred Band units. Now just imagine now if some of that Julii cavalry smashes into the back of this Pontus infantry there, that could cause major problems. And meanwhile over on our right flank here, you can see cavalry charging into the rear of our engaged troops, as well as more infantry being thrown in there as well. Right, can you see that Julii cavalry, and bang, as it smashes into the rear of those Pontus troops there. Now I think the Pontus general saw that coming and turned a couple of units to face the threat here. Let's just pause the game for a second. So you've got Julii cavalry smashed into the rear, you've got Carthage cavalry, a hammer and anvil attack there, the Carthage infantry being the anvil and the cavalry being the hammer. And if you notice here, Bubo, being a good teammate that he is bringing Macedonian units over to shore up our left flank, because make no mistake here, Pontus could be in danger of being routed here. So Bubo, seeing that's moving some units over, but he's still managing to hold our left centre there with his the rest of his Macedonian army. Meanwhile over on our right flank and right centre, you can see Carthage Sacred Band units coming in on our Greek city's flank. Plus, as I say, Steve has moved some units back here to cover the rear of our engaged troops here, to stop infantry smashing into the rear of us. So that was a nice battlefield awareness move there by Steve. So I say on this right flank here, as you can see the numbers there, the enemy are of course the red Julii here on the right flank and the Carthage Sacred Band, and Steve and myself are of course the Greek cities here. Okay, it looks like Pontus managed to kill the Carthage general there over on our left flank, which is good news for us, happy days for us. But as you can see, a lot of the Carthage units there are still pressing forward into our Pontus ally. I must say, I thought that Pontus might have cracked when it got smashed into the rear with those Julii cavalry, but as I say, I think he did spot them coming in and managed to turn units to face him just about in time there. As I say, you can see Bubo's moved 3 of his Macedonian units over to that left flank to protect them. Right, you can see the Julii cavalry charging into the rear of that Macedonian engaged unit there and routed it. But meanwhile, over here on our right flank here, you can see, just pause the game for a second here. Right, you can see I've split my army kind of into two. I've got one half fighting that way, and I got one half fighting that way here. Okay, so my army there is fighting in 2 directions as it stands at the moment. If you notice here, Steve is fighting Julii troops and enemy Carthage Sacred Band troops coming in on him as well. So as I say here, you can see by the numbers here how we're being aggressively attacked by those enemy troops. Okay, there's enemy cavalry in behind us as well. They've just smashed into the rear of a Macedonian unit and routed it. But meanwhile, over on our left flank here, you can see these chariot archers here shooting arrows into the back of those Carthage Sacred Band. Now imagine if he alt-attacked. Do you reckon now would be the time to alt-attack and charge into the back of those engaged Carthage Sacred Band? Do you think that's something you might do there? Do you think that would rout them? Hammer and anvil attack. Do you reckon that would? At the moment he's just shooting arrows into them, but maybe if he alt-attacked and charged into the rear of them, that may well cause a mass rout of those Carthage Sacred Band units. I don't know what you think. You can see that enemy Julii cavalry in behind us as well, looking for a tempting target to hit. Okay, those chariots, you see the Carthage Sacred Band fighting troops are saying they're frightened of chariots. So I'm just thinking, if he alt-attacked them into those Sacred Band units, do you think they would rout? Maybe he might do that a bit later on. Meanwhile, over on our right flank here, I'd just like to draw your attention to some of Steve's units are starting to crack, starting to rout. Okay, can you see Steve's units here starting to rout by the pressure of the enemy numbers and attack there. As I say, you can see my army, as I say, split into 2. I've got one half fighting that way and the other half fighting forward there. But a lot of Steve's units are starting to crack here under the pressure from Carthage and Julii. Plus, you've got that enemy cavalry out there ready to charge in. And make no mistake, the enemy archers have been shooting into us all game here. Okay, so as I say, Bubo's there, switched units there, some facing rear, some facing front. But as I say here, I'm just thinking an alt-attack of those chariots into the rear of those engaged Carthage Sacred Band could well tip the balance here. That could well just maybe lead to a mass rout. Maybe that might be something that the Pontus general's thinking there, but I just see 2 of his units just routed there. Bubo's doing well in the centre here. He's turned units to face the threats from all different directions. And meanwhile, over on our right flank here, I've managed to take out most of the Julii infantry that was facing me now, and I'm going to have to turn my Greek cities units to face the threat of those Carthage Sacred Band coming in on me there. Okay, I can see Sacred Band coming in. As I say, Bubo's turned units to face attacks from all directions here. I can see some Julii cavalry over there as well. May look to smash into the rear of that Macedon unit there, but Bubo spotted that and turned to face it. Right, okay, so I think the Pontus general did what I suggested there, and he's alt-attacked his chariot archers into the rear of those engaged Carthage Sacred Band and has now mass routed them. Okay, so that was a nice move by the Pontus general. Their hammer and anvil attack. His pikes being the anvil, his chariots the hammer. He got Julii cavalry charging into Bubo's units, but Bubo spotted that and turned that pike unit to face a threat. Nice battlefield awareness there by Bubo. As I say, he's doing well here to be holding those Carthage Sacred Band units. As I say, I've turned part of my army to face some enemy Julii infantry, and I've turned some to face that Carthage Sacred Band coming in on us as well. I think at this stage, I think Steve maybe only have 2 or 3 of his units left. Right, see that Julii cavalry unit trigger, bang! Tried to charge into the rear of one of Bubo's engaged pike units there. But I think Bubo spotted that. Okay, can you see Pontus here moving what's left of his army over to the centre there to help? The Pontus general, I think, has got 4 or 5 extremely battle-damaged units left because it was so attritional on that left flank. Okay, you can see me moving, as I say, half my Greek citizen army towards these Carthage Sacred Band units there. There's a bit of a close-up of the fighting. As I say, their spears are the same length there, so there's no advantage spear-wise. But you can see here I'm going to take the other half of my army that was fighting the Julii infantry, probably round the side of those Carthage Sacred Band. But as I say, Over here you can see that our Pontus ally has bought some of his battle damage units, what he's got left over here to help Bubo. And as you can see, Bubo here is under a lot of pressure here from Carthage and some alt-attacked Julii archers. But here you can see we're pushing through here, taking out these Carthage Sacred Band units that were here. And we've managed to do that. So what I would think I would do now is up spears and run my Spartans over to the center here, because this is where there's a lot of pressure on our ally. As I say, the enemy have been shooting arrows into us mercilessly all the way through the battle. Okay, so let's just pause the game for a second here. So if you look at Steve's units here, can you see that he's got 42 men in that one, 14 men in that one, and 10 in that one. Now that's all the units that he's got left. Now bearing in mind those are Spartan units, it just goes to show how attritional and how battle damaged his army was from holding out against those attacks. You see, I've upped spears and I'm running my army over there towards my Macedonian ally there to help out. As I say, our Pontus ally, I think he's got what, maybe 5 units left there, but they're all extremely battle damaged and their morale will be very low. So I'm moving my Greek city units over here to charge into those Carthage Sacred Band units. Do you notice how I run over with my spears? As soon as I make contact, bang, put the spears down and then attack those Carthage Sacred Band units with my Spartans there. So it wouldn't surprise me if those Carthage units started to rout there with the pressure that's being put on them. You notice you've got a Macedonian unit and my Greek cities there attacking from both sides. That's the Julii general's just been taken out there, and it looks like that unit we were fighting there has just been routed. The one that's charged in behind me is just routed on impact, and it looks like our team has has managed to go on to win the battle there, just about. But just have a look at the battlefield here. Over on the left flank here, do you remember that was where our Pontus ally was fighting Carthage? You can see the piles of dead there. It just goes to show how intense that part of the battlefield was there between Carthage and Pontus. And of course our Macedonian ally sent over some reinforcements there. Then in the centre here, where our Macedonian ally was also fighting Carthage and having Julii cavalry smashing behind. And also over on our right flank of right centre here, where Steve and myself are holding out against all those Julii infantry and Julii cavalry and some Sacred Band spear units that were thrown in there as well. So as I say, it was I would think this would be a close battle, and as I say, our left flank was very much in danger of breaking in the early parts of the battle there. So it's nice support by Bubo to take some units over there to support our ally. But as I said, very, very, I'd have thought close battle here. Yeah, there you go. I thought it would be a close one there. But there's a reason I want to show you this battle. Another reason I want to show you this battle. And that is because there's something unusual here. Can you see that Brotherhood member Points and Brotherhood member Barclayman have got the 2 highest kills in the game? Now it's unusual to have one player in a losing team with the highest kills, but to have 2 players with the highest kills in a game is very, very unusual. So really well done to Brotherhood member Points and Barclayman there. Really well done to you two there. Nice high kills there. As I say, very unusual. Trajan, with what you could call a lesser 31k faction, as in Pontus, got the 3rd highest kills in the game. So really well done to him. And you can see Lando and Sandy Star there. Maybe didn't get the kills that they wanted, but they still did well. So well done to that. And it was nice to see a combination of factions here, with the enemy having Rome and Carthage, and us having Greek cities, Pontus and Macedon. So I'd like to say really well played to Brotherhood member Points. Lovely kills there. Well done to you. Well done to Brotherhood member Barclayman. Let's say some really nice kills for you too. Well done to Lando. Nice aggressive action with your cavalry armour general as usual. And well done to Brotherhood member Sandy Star. A nice use of Carthage over on that left flank. Really well played, guys. Some great action there. Some nice moves as well. And some great tactics. So really well done to you 4. Really good teammates there. But also I'd like to say really well done to Brotherhood member Steve Longshanks. Maybe he didn't get the kills that he wanted to, but he was holding there for a long time. Really well done to Brotherhood member Trajan. Great kills there for Pontus. And really well done to Brotherhood member Bubo. Good kills there and nice team support all over the battlefield there. This is Spartan Commander saying hope you enjoyed the Wednesday bonus battle. Look forward to seeing you soon. Bye for now.